You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Nashville After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Nashville After Show.
Yay, everybody! Hey, we're here doing, or being is for doing, and we are here doing the Nashville AFTERBUZZ show for Nashville, episode 3, called Someday You'll Call My Name. So we're very excited about another great episode. So I'm JJ Jurgens.
Hi, I'm Lauren Leonelli.
I'm Whitney Lane.
I'm Jenifer Golden.
And we are just loving Nashville, so we hope you guys are too. And we just wanted to start by one tweet that we had about, well, not our show, but that Nashville had about their show was from Kelly Clarkson. And she said that it's her new favorite show, Nashville. It's great writing, great acting, and great music.
That's
and
right.
I think we all agree.
Yes, definitely agree with Kelly Clarkson.
Yes.
Go, girl.
Yeah, so I'm glad everybody's loving it like we are. So let's go ahead and break down this episode. So let's start talking about Rayna and her crazy family.
Rayna, that girl.
Well, and her husband, man, financial crisis is about to go down.
Right.
Who would have thought this country singer who's got it all going for her, now they might run out of money, can't go shopping anymore.
Hey, the recession affects everybody.
Apparently, and so does doing sneaky, shady things.
Uh-huh. We know a little bit about that, don't we, Jenifer?
We do.
Oh,
Well,
anything you want to share?
We're not weird or anything.
no, you know what? How many women, I mean, even men listening, people do shady stuff sometimes and things get uncovered. And in this show, there is a lot of that happening, which makes it so good, right?
So good.
We're all, it's like you turn the page and you're like, oh, every time. And it happens so many times during the episode. That's what draws you in.
Yeah, they're good about sprinkling it, like a little here, and then it comes back. So we find out there about the audit, so a bunch more stuff is going to come out from going back from 2008.
Which I thought was funny because he's like, Rayna, I'll just go do this on my own. I'll go talk to the bank. And then he's like, well, we're going to do an audit. So then he's like, well, let me go talk to Rayna now. He's obviously hiding something. He's going to be in trouble.
Well, I think that's a great example of Teddy just wanting to like do things all on his own, because every time someone offers to help him, he's like, no, I'm good, which obviously means there is something that only he knows about. Because it even seems like that guy in the bank who was part of, he kind of alluded to, yeah, you remember back in 2008, remember those days? Like he did some shady stuff too. Or that's what I took from it.
See, I took it was like the good times where everything was going great.
Like before the crash?
Yeah, before something
Maybe,
went
okay.
down.
I kind of took it the way you did, Lauren. I thought there was something. Maybe I have to go back and watch that, but I thought there was something back in the past. The way he kind of got nervous and fidgety, like that. Oh, he's gonna have to keep buried back then
with the audit. But I don't think the bank dude was
the
in
bank
on
dude.
it.
That's what I was talking about. Maybe I read into that a different way, but however you guys interpret it too is also a good point. But for whatever reason, bottom line is Teddy has some stuff that I feel like only he knows about.
Absolutely. And it's so weird because in the beginning we thought he was just this like peon husband, the sweet one that took care of the kids, and she was in the limelight and he was behind and not the person she really wants to be with. You know, you feel like, oh, poor little guy. But he's got some skeletons in his closet too, which we've been talking about it. We don't know if we're going to still like him.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the way he holds on to her. It's like he's been this good guy for her for so long when she's gone through crap, been with Deacon, is she going to have to hold on to this marriage when he's the one that's in the hot seat?
We'll see her loyalty to him.
Exactly.
When we find out what happens.
Why even run for a position in office if you have skeletons in your closet? It's going to come out regardless.
Well, because that's true, and this sounds like a big skeleton, but I feel like they make mountains out of molehills and situations like that. Everybody has a past, and they're going to make everything out to be a bigger deal than it really is. But in this situation, it does sound like there's actually something that
Like a
is
crime.
like not okay.
Right.
I think it's also really going to be what drives her back to Deacon and what makes it kind of acceptable for all of us that she does that even though she's married and has 2 kids. You know,
sense.
you'd want to be like, oh, she should stay with her family and they got a great family. But if clearly he's not this, you know, because at the beginning they made it seem like, oh, he's just kind of given up everything that he wanted for her and to support her. But now if more stuff starts coming out that he's shady, then we're going to kind of lose our like sympathy for him and be like, oh yeah, go back to Deacon.
Exactly.
You know, you guys belong together.
She's the hero. She's the protagonist of the story, and there's no way we can like her if she cheats on her husband. She has to have a valid reason.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there ever is a valid reason, but for the sympathy of the audience, they have to be able to sympathize with her somehow. And if he's doing something morally wrong to her and his family, then that's her in.
Yeah, I mean, some people feel like just even a lie is being cheated on. You know, it's not a physical thing, but it's an emotional thing because you're
Being dishonest.
Right, you're being dishonest, which is just not what you've signed up for when you're in a partnership.
That's what I sign up for when I like being lied to.
It sounds like she's starting to become a little bit more like her mother. So we heard those skeletons come out of the closet.
goodness.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, Daddy
Great new
Lamar,
discovery.
now we might actually understand why he is the way he is a little bit
But
more.
still not like him for it.
No, not at all. He's still not. That's not a father figure to hate her just because his wife's. Well, not hate her, but to treat her the way that he does just because
resents
his
her.
wife was like that.
Well, you know, I mean, that happens. Usually it's the other way around. Like, you know, for example, a father cheats on the mother, and so the daughter, as a result of, has a hard time trusting men in her life. But this way, we're seeing it kind of in the reverse, which it's not as common of a way to show that resentment come out. But yeah, I mean, he's kind of taking it out on her.
Yeah, you see a little bit more
Rayna.
a different side of him too when he's getting the pictures out of his wife and kind of looking at him. He does seem like he has some emotion somewhere deep down in there, but I mean, it'll be definitely interesting to see how it turns out because Rayna still, she doesn't care for him one bit, that's for sure.
No, and she responded saying, you know, who could blame their mother for doing what she did when he treats people the way he does?
Yeah, harsh words, you know, from
Which is, it is harsh words, but you know what? It's going back to Teddy and Rayna's relationship. I mean, who can blame her for straying if something like what we are assuming has gone down with Teddy and some illegal some crime matter?
But you'd think, why didn't he stray if he was dealing with all this, you know?
Well,
could have gone either way, really.
And
They both
also,
have.
apparently, Rayna we all guess that maybe something has gone down with her and Deacon and one of the daughters, who, by the way, I mean, we have to talk about them at some point. How good were they?
Yeah.
So cute.
Seriously, wonderful singers.
Yeah, amazing.
Surprising. They sang in the
Obviously.
car that time, and we were like, oh, that's cute harmonizing and quite exceptional. But tonight, they rocked it out. It was
Stunning.
stunning.
The guitar and then the harmonizing, the little
Foot stomp.
daughter was
I love the foot stomp.
They're a cute little duo. Oh, I hope they go on tour.
And Rayna got tears in her eyes just watching her daughters
they
growing
were
up to be like that.
But they were singing a Juliet Barnes song, no?
Yes,
Yep.
they were.
I thought maybe Rayna might.
I don't. Maybe
like,
she doesn't
scoff
know.
at that.
Yeah.
I mean, but I guess like
Maybe she's over it.
she's not the type of character, I don't think, to get petty like that. I mean, I think she was just sort of in awe of her daughter's talent and how beautiful it was. But I kind of thought there was going to be some acknowledgement, like that's a Juliet Barnes song, unless she just
Right.
didn't know. But I
Well,
mean,
she did in the first episode when they were in the car and she turned it off and said Mama's got a headache and stuff. So, I mean, but you know the girls that age, they like who they like, you know, so they
And
would
she's
pick a
younger
song like
singer.
that. Yeah,
Right.
probably
It's not
to
like
sing.
they would pick Shania Twain versus Taylor Swift.
Underwood, yeah.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
Well, props to casting because they sure did pick some talented.
incredible.
The whole cast and and we say this every show that we don't like her character, but we love her singing. Hayden Panettiere has such a good voice.
Yeah, such a good voice. She makes a weird, like, nasal face when she sings, though, and it's mean to say, but like I never really understand it. It looks like she's lip singing, but we know she's singing. She doesn't
Well,
look
She's
Well, when
lip-syncing-
she's on the show, she's lip singing.
She's lip syncing to her voice when they're taping her. Well, at least she doesn't make like a John Mayer face. That just grosses me out.
That's terrible.
Not okay.
Let's go back real quick to talking about Rayna and her dad and about the contract that he gave her with the offering $500,000, but then having all the stipulations. What do you guys think about that treatment of his daughter?
Unbelievable. You can't go on tour while your husband's this. If he gets into office, you got to wait till then. Like, that's her life. That's her job. Like, that's what she loves to do. And if he cared about her at all, that wouldn't even be a question.
He's trying so hard to right the wrongs of his wife that he's controlling his daughter and doesn't have a relationship with her at all. He has one with his other daughter, but she doesn't remind him of the mother.
Well, you could also see that relationship, how their relationship is when he came to the talent show with those big bouquets of flowers for the girls, and she's like, "Go to hell, get out of here."
Oh, those lines.
That was
what were they
rough.
again?
It was like,
It was
Go home.
go home, get out of here, go to hell, and stay away or something. It was weird. It was like bam, bam, bam.
go home, go to hell. Don't you stay here.
I mean, could you imagine? I could never speak to my dad like that. To know that that's a relationship that they have, I mean, it seems so sad.
But also to still interact in each other's lives. Like, it's one thing to treat each other that way and then be estranged, not to still be in your everyday life.
Yeah, he's around still. I mean, he kind of. I feel like he wants to be the puppeteer there a little bit. Like, he can't let go, and I feel like the more he tries to control, the more he pushes her away, but he's going to keep finding his way back in. Because, I mean, at first he sent her that check for $500,000, and she just thought, like, oh, he's giving me money. And, of course, I'm sure she assumed there was some sort of stipulation that went along with it. But as the episode went on, we learned that there was all of these guidelines and rules that came along with it. He's trying to open the door with things like money, and then he turns around and slams it with saying things like, you can't be you and who you want to be.
Yeah, that's where I think the money thing is. It's all just about he wants to control everything. Because I don't think that it's even like he's so, buddy with Teddy and cares about him so much that he wants them to have a good marriage. He just wants to be able to control him so he can get his baseball park up. He everything he does is motivated so that he has control and power over everything. Probably because he didn't have power over his relationship.
Yeah,
I must say, Tansy, the sister, you can see that they have a good bond. I mean, they're definitely have that sisterly bond. But at the same time, I'm kind of skeptical of her just because of how close she is with her dad. And I think some of that might come out in the future.
Yeah, I feel like if it came down to some big decision, she would side with the dad.
Because how could you not?
She's on
pressure. The pressure he puts on them.
Right, and she doesn't have to deal with the things that Rena has to deal with because she doesn't remind the dad of the mom, and so she's got a different relationship, and she's maybe a little bit more loyal, and maybe she gets some money from him too.
Definitely does.
Everyone's on payroll.
Lamar's payroll.
Except us.
Hey, Lamar, send me a check.
Like, speaking of Lamar, we did get an email about how we had talked about the name Lamar. We were really kind of confused, about where that came from. And this is our problem, is we probably watch way too much of the Kardashians, and that's why we thought that. But come to find out, we got an email from Networker is what it said, and he actually told us that there was a senator and former governor of Tennessee named Lamar. And so it actually dates back, and I even Googled it a little bit and found out there's a Lamar University in Texas, so it is kind of a southern thing. And it means, because we were talking about what the names meant, it meant it means like of the sea. So I don't know if that means like
the sea.
Kind of takes over the expanse of the sea. I don't know. I'm trying to reach here.
Yeah,
but
we're reaching.
Now we know that Lamar is a southern name.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
There we
Yeah.
go. Beautiful.
That's right.
So thank you for letting us know that for sure.
I have a fourth cousin named Lamar, and I'm Italian. Well, he's not on the Italian side of the family, but I mean,
It could be anybody, but now we know.
Well, thanks for writing in and letting us know. And while we're talking about that, go ahead and download us on iTunes. You can comment there. You can write us notes there, too. We read them all. We love to check them out. You can rate us, tell us what you like, what you don't like, what we can do better, or things like that. Topics that we don't know that we love to hear about, and then we'll discuss here.
We love listening to your comments. Tell a friend, for sure.
Yeah, we like to know what y'all think, too, because sometimes our opinions, you never know where they're going to go. We like to hear yours.
We do.
All right, so let's move on to talking about our favorite Deacon a little bit.
Deacon.
By the way, I figured out why Deacon looks so familiar to me.
Why?
Because
You've dated him.
No. But I take care of kids for a living, and I am subjective to watching their TV shows. And Deacon plays the father on a show on the Disney Channel called Jessie.
There we go.
And he's not in the show that much because she's the nanny. The character in the show, Jessie, is the nanny, and it's like 5 kids that she takes care of. So they're like the center of the show, but sometimes the mom and dad come in, and he's the dad.
Look at that.
And I was like, how do I know him? And he was on Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah.
We saw that. Yeah, but anyway, whatever. I had to say that because I couldn't figure out how I knew him. And I was
That's
like,
hilarious.
Only I would know that. Yeah.
Good one. Good. Deacon's all over.
Deacon.
Yes.
He's entwined with so many different things right now.
He is.
I mean, he's
busy
pretty
boy.
popular, I would say.
Yeah.
These ladies are fighting over him. He's recording a song with Juliet.
A good song, too.
Let's talk about their discussions in bed that they had for.
Oh, yeah.
That was the most awkward. I felt uncomfortable watching it. I'm not going to lie.
She looks like...
Why did you feel uncomfortable?
Because she looks like his daughter. I mentioned that when we were watching it. I just feel like the age difference is way too much. No, pillow talk at that difference of age, it just doesn't work.
I agree. I think it was weird to see.
Yeah, very weird. I still think of her as high school age.
I totally agree too, and I don't know if it's really their age difference in real life, or if it's more the fact that he's also a bigger built man, too, and she's a petite girl, so that really helps the father-daughter image. But I'm not feeling their connection.
What did it for me in that scene was just physically looking, and don't get me wrong, I like a guy that wears his wrinkles well and stuff, but I mean, Deacon has some serious wrinkles happening, which I think is very handsome on a man, but next to her, who looks like she's
a Neutrogena girl.
And she is, and she looks like she's 22 tops.
Yeah.
I don't even know, is she? I think she's supposed to be around that age. To me, it's weird to just see them next to each other.
I think for me as well, I think I'm already skewed to Deacon and Reina. So even when I see them together at any point, I'm just like, it really doesn't fit compared to this other couple who really seems
and
to
that's
fit.
exactly what the writers want the audience to feel anyway, I think. So that could be part of it. But yeah, I mean, that pillow talk was really weird. And Juliette's she always brings things up when she's got him in a sexual situation.
She gets sensitive and emotional, and it's kind of awkward.
She knows that she can use her girl parts to get him to think a little bit differently. It's
well, and I think she knows that that's all she has going for her, because she made the comment I wrote this one down, that she want to be the someone you choose or we're choosing.
And he's like, well, I'm here now.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, not like that. But that's what she uses it.
Yeah.
She uses her sex to get him.
Well, and she says, if you thought I was of Reina's caliber, you would be going on tour with me. So basically, she knows she's not in a league of a woman like Reina. So all she can really do is tempt him with her sexuality.
Which that came out a little bit more too when she was talking about how she was raised on country music, and she names all these other people, and then Deacon says, and Rayna James, obviously something went down there, and that's the whole issue with her mom and growing up to Rayna, and that's why she doesn't want her on tour to be nice to her in public.
We also heard her make a real biting comment there about she thought Rayna got everything handed to her.
Yeah.
So that was a new side of her just not respecting her at all for her
she
talent.
said that she said something about she got her career on a silver platter.
Yeah.
He said, no, she's been knocked around a little. And she's like, I would love to be knocked around like that and have a house in Belmead. And
she worked hard. She had no idea her dad was doing that. And, of course, Juliet doesn't know that about Rayna. But, I mean, it seemed like she worked hard.
From somebody coming from her life struggles, it looks like such a vastly different comparison of lifestyles. But she's obviously a little bit bitter about that and trying to discredit her talent because of that, although it's just a way for her to kind of knock her down. But I like that Deacon stood up for her, too. He was like, well, that's not true.
It also shows how many similarities there are between Rayna and Juliet.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, you don't know what else is going on in somebody's life unless there's a saying, walked a mile in their shoes.
exactly.
I mess up every saying, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yes, we know.
Yes. But it is nice to see that he defends her and he doesn't just sort of play both sides.
Yeah.
And what about his reaction to her calling in the morning? Rayna
I thought that was so interesting. As soon as, Juliet's trying to make him breakfast, what would you like? And she gets a phone call. He's like, actually, I have to go take some calls.
And not even off the property when he calls her back.
Gone. He's at the door. He's calling her back, going to meet Rayna.
That's
She
love.
knew. She knew.
Yeah.
Juliet knows.
She knows. Yeah.
But that's love. He wouldn't do that if he didn't love Reina. And then they go and talk.
Yeah. No, of course he loves Rayna. I mean, that is obvious.
The whole issue for me at first was Rayna and Deacon. The first time they sat down with one of the managers talking about the tour, they're not honest with each other at all. They just need to say it. And that's what came out kind of when they did meet up. They finally were like, we have to say it. Just say it. And neither one of them could do it. But finally it comes out like, I've got to be right about this. I've got to let you go. And it's not easy for either one of them.
No, it's not. And they still didn't really say it. I mean,
I was confused. One of y'all want to explain exactly what happened there? Because
what I took from that scene is that I think she and he have like an unspoken bond. They've been together for so long. They write music together. They're on stage together. And I don't know if for anybody that's a performer, when you perform with somebody all the time, whether it's acting or singing or dancing, it's almost like you can communicate without communicating. And I feel like at that moment at the Bluebird where they had that, where they sang the song and they kind of realized that they still had these strong feelings for each other, I think they both know that and they don't have to say it. But I think what they did in that meeting was she sort of alluded to, okay, I'm recognizing out loud that I am kind of feeling this way, and the right thing to do is to let you go, even though she didn't want to. And I think he was like, well, then you just tell me. He's not, basically what I take from it is he is not going to walk away unless she says yes, because he's always been there for her.
And he's single.
And he's in love with her, but she has a family, and he is just like, okay, fine, you tell me to go, and I will. And she didn't say like, well, go. I mean, she kind of was like, sugarcoated it, like, okay, well, this is the right thing to do, and then broke down into tears. It's not what she wants.
Well, the line that she used where it was like, you're the same as music is to me. So saying things like that's not going to let him, he's not going to be able to walk away from that when she considers him to be the same as music, and you know how important music has been in her life. He's right on that same level.
Right.
Well, yeah, and I think she was saying that she said she felt like she was holding hearts in her hand, but then like her heart was in pieces. And I think what she wants, is to be back with him, but she has kids and a husband, so I think she's trying to like do the right thing, but then she said nothing feels right. So it's like, doing the right thing was staying with her family and society's eyes or father, whoever's eyes. Right. But what she really might want is to be with him, and how can she
well, they
make everything right.
They separated because he was ripped out of her life, not because she was like, this isn't going to work.
Right.
Like, and now that they've spent all this time apart, and she's lived this other life, and she probably really does love her husband, and they have kids together. But now that they get back on stage and that unspoken communication thing happens, it's like, whoa, Nelly, this is the real deal. That stuff just doesn't go away.
No, especially if you didn't choose for it to go away. It was like a circumstantial thing. So your heart doesn't shut off to that.
Exactly.
So we saw kind of how he felt when he met up with Juliet, and she's like, I need an answer now. And he's like, you're a hard girl to say no to.
Did we all not think he was going to say, I'm going to do it?
Yes.
I did. I thought,
Even though even though Rayna let him go, we're like, okay, he's free to do what he wants now. But he still can't do it. He's loyal. Damn,
I
that
love
Deacon.
it. I love it. It makes me love him even more.
Yeah,
Me
I
too.
agree.
Why. See, that's
and
why.
want them to be together.
That's why it's going to be okay that they're together, because he's
Right.
so loyal and they have this bond, and her husband may be shady. And
So it's like, Teddy, just go ahead, ruin it for yourself, and let them get together, right?
I did think we were going to have to endure watching him be on tour with Juliet more and
thank
go
goodness.
through that. Yeah, so
Well,
it was a good
speaking of,
surprise.
we don't know if Juliet's even going to make it on tour.
Yeah.
After
It's
her
true.
little
oh my.
mishap in the grocery store.
Yeah, let's talk about her a little bit. She had some
well,
interesting scenes.
Juliet and her mom, first of all.
Right.
I mean, this is
Jolene.
Jolene, her mama Jolene.
That's my middle name.
There
Is
you
it
go.
really? Oh, that's JJ.
Jamie Jolene.
There we go.
Look at that. At least you're nothing like her mother, because
goodness.
that is one sad lady.
It sure is. Yeah, this was a really big topic in the show. They really focused on that. Obviously, we've kind of seen her tumultuous relationship with her mom, but this time she was like knocking on the door constantly. I was surprised at the end that she actually took her in.
Well, because the manager said it's better to have her in here than out there kind of ruining your reputation even
Exactly.
Kind of figured that would happen.
This is a total side, but kind of interesting how big her property must be if she had to get in the Suburban to drive to the front gate to see her mom.
How funny.
I mean, I know it's a mansion, but
I'm like,
wow.
Juliet, put her in the basement, just stick a guard in front of her door, and move on with your life.
Right, you'll never even see her. That property's so bad.
If it's that big.
But I mean, we got to see Juliet really get super emotional.
Finally saw a different side of her, which I think we needed to see. It still doesn't mean I like her.
No.
It's hard too because you want her to show a little empathy towards her mom, even if we don't know the whole story. But if you just look at it, you're like, that's your mom. You know?
Well, I mean, I think that when she walked away hysterically crying, it was like, again, an example of having to do what is right, but not necessarily wanting to do it. I'm sure she wanted to hug her mom and say, of course, come be my mom. But I mean, she's a tough cookie, Juliet, and she's not going to let people walk on her and all over her. And I guess she feels like, you know what, I needed you when you weren't there for me, and now I can't do the same for you. I mean, I don't really like Juliet, but I'm just saying. And I think
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, I think that this is obviously also to help us sort of start to not hate her so much. I mean, we have to see a little bit of a softer side.
Which is good, and I'm sure we'll hear the story of how it all happened in the first place.
Can't wait.
It's going to be so juicy. Something went down. They went to like a Rayna Barnes. That's her name? No, Juliet Barnes. Rayna, what's her name?
James.
God, I always mix up people's names. They probably like went to a concert and something happened, or she's going to have a flashback. Ooh, maybe they'll do a flashback.
It might happen when
like
she's a little girl.
Juicy.
We'll see
I like it.
what Nashville has in store for us.
That's right. That is right.
But definitely going to be an interesting storyline, I think. It's something we need to see to kind of develop her character more so than just sleeping around.
Exactly.
Speaking of her character, how about when she's shopping? And
At the end.
Yeah, and she is seen by some girls in like CVS or wherever she was, and she steals nail polish.
Now,
Like,
I
what
don't
is
think she
that?
did it on purpose. Because she saw the girls and then looked back around, and then the girls looked up and they're like, oh, that's Juliette Barnes. Let's get a picture. She sticks it in her purse.
Yeah,
I agree.
It seemed like at first that she was like she knew they were watching, but maybe now in retrospect, not so much.
Because she's going to get in some big trouble.
But I was confused by it too. It did seem like she was like, "Oh, they're watching me. I'm gonna."
Like for attention or something, like a cry for help. But at the same time, if you're going to steal, you're not going to steal in front of people.
Yeah.
Even if you're famous or not, you just don't steal in front of people.
So either way, whether it was conscious or subconscious, you know, she probably didn't maybe wanted to get caught a little bit.
And it like what brought this out right now? Like, did she used to have to steal with her mom or something because now her mom's in the house and she's like at the store buying weird stuff and.
Good.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I just am like, why then? Like, there's a reason why it's happening right now in the story, and I just kind of.
And when her house is that big.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like a rush. Like when people who have that, they do it for the rush, not because they actually, you know, like I don't know. So
I think it's another control thing. Like something's missing. You know, she can't control Deacon. She's losing him. She can't control her mom's situation. It's just kind of a
she
lashing
had a bad
out,
day, and she wanted bright pink nail polish, and she didn't want to pay. Okay.
That line was long.
Now the problem is though that's really she's gonna start losing control in her own life because she's gonna get caught for this and get in trouble. And like we saw in the teaser for next week, she could lose the tour altogether. So it's like if she's trying to maintain control, she's not doing a very good job of it. You know.
No, it could also be to give her some edge.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, Winona Ryder or yes.
Yeah.
She stole. Why did she steal?
I
don't know when you can have everything, I guess, and nobody says no to you and lets you do everything. I guess.
You do whatever you want.
But you know, she's in the spotlight. Like these young girls are the ones looking up to her. You got to remember that to an extent.
Yeah, those are her fans, those girls.
Exactly. And now they're like, what? Is this okay for us to do now, or are they gonna not like her anymore? It could go either way.
You works for Lindsay Lohan with her jewelry stealing, and you know.
I don't know.
I think that's all a publicity stunt.
There's so much pressure on celebrities or reality TV show stars to like live this perfect life and not have any baggage or have anything, but it's like not, you know, everyone has something.
Exactly.
You know?
They're just more
Kim
in the
Kardashian,
spotlight.
sex tape. I mean,
you guys want to rebel against the picture they've painted of you.
exactly. Speaking of the Kardashians and that show, here at AfterBuzz we do tons of shows. We have like 50 shows. Basically, if there's a show that you watch and you like, we're probably buzzing about it after. I know I do a couple other shows here, like America's Next Top Model. You guys
Grey's Anatomy.
Dexter.
Heart of Dixie.
That's right. See? So we love and appreciate that you guys watch us, and we
want to give it all to you.
We do. We want to give it all to you. That's why we have all these shows for you to watch. We have a huge, huge lineup of shows, and we do it for you guys. So we just want to say tune in for all the shows that we have here, and we're growing and bringing it all to you straight from AfterBuzz. Ba-bam.
And also, we haven't mentioned, if you ever want to call in, we would love to have callers for the show. So I know there's a lot of people out there that tweet that they're loving this show and they're watching the show or they're listening to their podcast and want to talk about it. So you can call us at 424-256-1729, and we'd love to hear from you.
I know.
right.
We want your opinions. It's
Yeah.
always fun to hear everyone else's thoughts on the show.
That is right.
All right, let's go into the little youngins. Let's talk about Scarlett and Gunnar a little bit.
Girlfriend, get your act together. This is a chance for you, and you
She's
can't
so
do
weak.
it without your boyfriend right there watching.
She's so weak and so like mopey and like
Petulant.
Whiny.
yeah, and she's so schmoopy and she's like me.
I get it. Be nervous. I mean, who wouldn't be nervous? She's not really a singer. She's only sang once. So fine, be nervous. But the
whininess is not okay.
But like the fact that it's like because her boyfriend's not there is like weird. I would just be better if she was just nervous because she's freaking nervous.
Right.
Like, why wouldn't you be nervous? But yeah, and then I hate to sound so petty, but the sound of her voice is like, first of all, I have a hard time understanding.
That's what I
know
was
you said
saying.
Whitney too. I have a hard time understanding her accent, and her drawl is so long and thing, and then she talks real fast, and then it's like really hard to understand. And she's makes pouty little faces, and her voice, the sound of her voice is annoying. I think my sound of my voice is annoying too, but I mean hers is exceptionally annoying.
It's great when she sings. Like, I just want her to
Yes.
sing the whole episode.
Yeah.
That is
But
true.
Cute
That
girl. But yeah, the whininess this episode, we're like, enough.
Super talented, though. I mean, that's my favorite part, or when her and Gunnar sing the songs, and you're just
Such
like,
a good song,
Yes.
they pull you in. You want
really
to
do.
download those on iTunes,
Oh,
you know,
no,
which I've done.
She is she's a good actress. She's beautiful. She has a great singing voice. Her little quirks are kind of annoying me, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah,
I
she's
wonder
one
what
of
she's
those
really
girls.
like.
Oh yeah.
I wonder what her voice is really like.
I know, right?
Like her talking voice.
Yeah, exactly. Like if she even has like a real Southern accent. I know most of these actors do not, from my knowledge, but I don't know about her because she's kind of a newbie. We should look into that. Call in and tell us if you know. Yeah, she's an interesting bird, but that was when she did finally have her boyfriend there with her, and they had that second chance to go sing together. I mean, the song was great. She sounded
So
good.
good.
Yeah.
Now I question Avery's intentions.
I was
though.
going to
as
say
well.
that too.
Because he's like, I think he was a little bit happy that she couldn't do it without him, and she was worried about what he was going to think. So then he finds a way to get in there and get to go
And plays
be
supportive. He plays very supportive and like
and
wonderful.
gets to introduce himself to the
Right.
big producer, right?
He's
Yeah,
like,
definitely
I'll go
took-
with you if you want me to, and so he's there to position himself for his own.
Well, and then
Go ahead, JJ.
how about also, don't do it for yourself, then do it for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, but see, that's what he's playing on, her insecurity of feeling a little bit like she's green and she's not very experienced. Plus, she's with this other guy and she doesn't really know how he's going to feel about it. And she's at that age where it's like, I don't know, she seems like a young girl that's like all about her boyfriend, where, when you get a little older, ladies, you're like, it's a little bit more about me than it used to be in my. So right now she's like, she probably wants to marry him and that's her future. But this future is, I would say, a lot more bright than just thinking about marrying this dude.
I think her future with Gunnar is brighter than
That's
it
what I'm
is
saying. Her
with
singing
Avery.
career and him. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Everything that's tied to that right now is on the up and up, and this Avery guy, he's gonna poison the well.
It's like frustrating to watch because as like a performer of any kind, you're given this opportunity and all you can think about is your dumb boyfriend.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, granted, whatever. I'm sure she loves him, and I'm not saying don't think about your loved ones at all. But hello, you're like, she doesn't even care. She's like, oh, it's just all about Avery. It's like, I don't. It's just kind of like it's another part of her that makes her kind of like whiny and weak.
Yeah, because we know if Avery had a chance to sing, he would not be worried about what,
No,
the effect it had on her.
Also, as he shouldn't be, and she shouldn't be either. Like, if he had this opportunity, he should just take the opportunity and go, and whoever loves you would support it. She's just like she's too like wispy.
Again, I do think though, and again, props to the casting here, because not even that, the writers as well, they're showing us women, different women,
Yes,
weak people that are strong, who are all for themselves. I mean, you're seeing a lot of diversity in the female race, female gender.
I like it.
And probably that everyone is very similar. Like, we all have problems.
Of course.
So if each one has their own strengths and
you know
weaknesses.
What? All these problems are very similar. I mean, between Rayna and Deacon and her trying to figure out, like, she's got these two men in her life that equal like one good guy, and her mom had that same problem, and it seems like Scarlet has that problem, like these two men, they all have the same problem. It's just how it manifests itself and how you react. And that's what makes them all different. But yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, problems always come from either like love or power. And you can deduce it to that all the time. And all of these people, they're all having basically the same problem.
Mm-hmm. So. It's interesting to see how they all handle it. That's what's fun.
Oh yeah, right. I love that too, yeah. Makes it very, very, very enticing.
I'm excited.
I love Nashville.
I am excited to see what happens though with Avery and Scarlet, and see if maybe he gets to record his demo just to keep Scarlet happy.
But isn't he is more of like a rock singer, correct?
At least it sounded like that from his first song. I'm not positive.
Yeah.
It sounded like that, but they did choose to move to Nashville, so rock
maybe there's
probably coexists in Nashville with country music.
We couldn't really tell from that one song that we heard.
No, Barbed Wire is new, but I think that's on iTunes.
It is on iTunes.
That is
And
so funny.
Jonathan Jackson is like
That's
an
who
actor.
it is, Jonathan
Yeah.
Jackson. I couldn't remember.
Where has he been?
What was he in, like Mighty Ducks or something?
Something
No,
that
that's
was
Joshua
awesome.
Jackson.
Yeah.
I had a big crush on Jonathan Jackson, though, I think, back in the day.
Oh yeah, he was on like Tiger Beat magazine for sure with Jonathan Taylor Thomas and
But how old
Leonardo
is he now?
DiCaprio.
How old is he now that he's playing Scarlett's boyfriend?
I think he's older than he looks.
Right.
I feel like he's like close to 30, but he's playing like 22.
We'll have to
He
find
looks
out.
young. Good for him.
Yeah. Must be using Neutrogena.
He's supposed to be the heartthrob, so I guess it works. We'll see
Is
when
he
he
the
meets the
heartthrob?
lady. He's supposed to be.
I think Deacon is the heartthrob.
Well, for us, right here.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Are we old?
I know, right?
Oh, man.
We just want a man, and that's a man right there. Deacon is a man.
Loyal.
Gentle.
Jonathan Jackson was actually born in 1982.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's
All
20.
right.
He's 30.
30. Exactly. You knew it.
That's right. I am good at math. Actually, I'm not at all. It's close to my age. so I
Yeah,
figured it out.
he's young. He looks younger, I would
He
say.
looks way younger.
So it works, which
Yeah.
is good.
And thanks, Marissa.
Yes.
Yeah.
Marissa.
Marissa, who's your heartthrob on the show?
She's like, I don't
I
know.
like Gunnar.
Yeah. I like that.
You can
He's
have him.
sweet.
He is sweet. I like Gunnar.
I think we'll see more with him, which I'm excited to see him and Scarlett's relationship.
Yeah.
But apparently, I heard next week there's going to be a girl that kind of catches his eye, so we'll see who that is.
Well, the brunette, right?
Yeah.
And we see them in
We saw
bed
it
in the trailer.
Exactly.
Well, and then Scarlett's going to get jealous. Hi. That happens.
Yeah.
That happens.
Finally, a brunette on the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All these
Finally.
little blondies running around, taking over Nashville.
And a redhead. Connie Britton's redhead.
Yeah,
right?
but she's got blonde highlights.
yeah.
Yeah.
She's like strawberry blonde. She is a good hairstylist.
I got to tell you more about her hair in news and gossip, but I'll hold it
Yeah,
off.
I love her hair.
Oh. Yay.
We're all like, yes, please do.
Yay.
All right. Well, should we do news and gossips? We're going to talk about her hair.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Well, since I already kind of teased it, apparently
Teased the hair.
I didn't
Good
even
one.
get that pun right
good.
there.
That was good.
So apparently, Connie.
Thank you.
But Connie Britton's hair has its own blog. It's called ConnieBrittonHair.tumblr.com.
Love it.
Apparently, it's an ode to all things Connie. So it shows like the favorite quotes from her shows, Friday Night Lights, American Horror Story, photos. It even shows her graduation photo, her yearbook photo from Dartmouth. But talks about her hair. It always shows her hair looking so nice and lovely. So Connie Britton, if you want to learn her ways,
Her hair does always look
it
fantastic.
does. It looks very, very perfect. I don't
She's
even
just
know.
so pretty.
She is perfectly waved, perfect color.
A little bit more about her. Callie Corey, who created the show, said no way was she going to do it unless she got Connie Britton. So when they were actually sitting there talking about it, she said she reached out to Connie. She said that's who she knew exactly who had to be Rayna James. If she hadn't signed on, Callie Corey would not have been the creator of Nashville.
Wow.
That is
Nice.
crazy. And Rayna, Connie looks like a country singer.
She's perfect.
Doesn't she?
And see,
Definitely.
she actually chose her from Friday Night Lights. That's where she said she caught her attention, said she had to have her, and so it's obviously working out pretty well.
Oh yeah.
She seems like the most authentic choice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can't even think of who else you would.
I can't either.
And that's when it's a good casting call.
You know
right
what? And Hayden has a great voice and plays the part well, but I was having a tough time imagining her as a country singer. And I think that they did a good job, and she's playing the part well. But Connie seemed, just from the posters before even watching the show, it was like,
Oh, yeah.
for sure. That's
Well,
she just, yeah.
Speaking of Hayden, you better get used to it because she's wanting to come out with her own country album. So it should be, it may be in the works. That's her plan because she has, you know, we've talked about how she's sung in the past. That is a potential thing. Another thing she said, she was talking about wardrobe. And, you know, I mean, that's one fun part of this is to look at the fashion because you see the cowboy boots, all that stuff that they're wearing. And she said if they bring her something that she doesn't want to wear, she's not going to wear it.
Hayden
That's what she said. And because apparently she says Juliet's style is kind of like hers with a little country twist. So she wants to wear things that she wants to wear.
Which, by the way, sometimes we comment on the fact that the outfits are not so cute. So now we know
Today
why.
I did. I was like, I don't know about that one, but
That purple crocheted thing,
yeah, when she was singing.
I don't really like that.
Well, she's not going to wear it unless she likes it. So now we know.
So maybe Hayden's a little bit of a diva, just like Juliet.
And maybe.
I don't know. I'm not going to.
I think yes, but you're very nice.
Wow.
She also commented on what you see in Nashville, the kind of young star, older star, that dynamic, and how it does run true throughout Hollywood and all that, all the business, which makes sense. I mean, you always hear that, but she did comment on that as well.
Hayden did? Mm-hmm. Oh.
I like Reina's
What was her
outfit. She's-
comment?
It was just how you see that. It is very.
it is true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's authentic that it does happen.
It's so funny because it's like an older man, an actor can be old forever and get old, and that's fine. But then if you're like 30, you're too old to play like Harrison Ford's wife or something. It's like, right? Like
Yeah.
it seems like it's fun.
You
it's
hear
interesting.
people's careers taking off when they're older. I mean, that's what happens, you
Right.
know.
I think mine's
Men.
going to be around the time of Helen Mirren.
Okay, you've got time then.
You're ready. So a little bit more about the show in general. I thought this was kind of interesting. Is they actually, Callie Corey had talked about, they pick this music first before they even know the script. So they have to make sure they kind of write the scripts around what music they choose.
Fascinating.
I love
Yeah.
that.
That
now
actually
we
makes
kind of
sense
know.
to why, how it all ties in so well together.
Yeah, so intertwined.
Makes
and
much more sense.
The story the songs in this story are just threaded together so well that absolutely makes sense. That's awesome.
Yeah, because other than the one song that we heard last week that we all felt was the ending song with
Rayna
and Deacon that was just a little too hitting us over the head with the lyrics, but everything else is the lyrics have been the words have been so good, tied in with the story and what's going on with the story.
I know, I was telling y'all earlier, people love that song though. They said it was very haunting and just.
You know, I didn't really like it that much. My favorite song is the Juliet and Deacon song.
Mine too.
It was great.
What's
today.
it called again?
I'm not positive on the title. I probably downloaded it earlier, but
I forget. It's one word.
It is interesting though that they also play the same songs in a couple.
Undermine.
Yes.
Sorry, I interrupted. That's what it is. Yeah.
But it is interesting. Oh, they're so good.
Nice.
I love this music. Okay, a couple other things. Network news. I don't know if you noticed, but ABC is sure tying in all the country stuff.
Yes.
The CMAs are coming up, hosted by Carrie Underwood and Brad Paisley. Oh. There it is. There it is. We'll listen to it while we talk. And they're doing that All Access Nashville with Katie Couric, where you're going to see Carrie Underwood, Leanne Rimes, Reba McEntire, Taylor Swift. They're all coming in. So they're kind of paralleling everything. I don't even know if that makes sense paralleling, but everything's parallel.
Everything's tied together.
Pretty cool. And in ratings news, just to finish it up, some good news and some kind of disappointing news. But good news is social media sites, #1 was Nashville for people Facebooking and Twittering about it.
It's everywhere. And
Yeah.
Nashville ABC actually retweets if you tweeted them. So
The only thing was last week ratings did drop by about 30%, which I think was
But
due to
that's
some other
normal, though.
shows coming out.
Chicago Fire, I think.
And premieres always
American
end
Horror
up being a little bit more up in the ratings than, and that's a little bit of a normal
Totally
thing.
makes sense.
But
Which,
still.
you know, American Horror Story premiered on the second week of Nashville. So
Right.
next week we'll see what happens for this show.
Was there baseball last week too?
You know,
Is there
probably.
sports? I know we got baseball
Is there
tonight,
any
but
game?
No. It's the
baseball
World
tonight,
Series.
but yeah.
The World Series. First game of the World Series was tonight, but it ended before this started.
I think if we just stay as loyal as we are now, Nashville's in here for the long haul.
I think Nashville is in. I mean, it's a great show. I don't see where there would be a problem. Yeah.
No, you know what? I actually thought that GCB would stay on because
love
it was
GCB.
sort of like
right.
you know, a Southern show, and it was so different and a good drama, and it was funny actually, but it went away.
I know, I liked it.
I think that was another for me. I never watched the show, but with ABC, got a lot of flack for having bitches in the title, which is something they also did with 666. People are turned off sometimes by those having seen that in the title. So I mean, I'm not a network exec, but I do think that ABC might want to think about that, like, because there are certain groups that right away from the get-go won't even turn on the show or won't even watch it because of their titles.
Yep.
Wow.
I didn't even think about that.
And
Good
yeah,
thing
and advertisers
Nashville.
that won't pick it up, you know, don't want to advertise
Exactly.
in their show.
I mean, think about, it's different network, but even like the new normal, there's, the title doesn't exactly have any like risky words in it, but the subject matter is so. So yeah, there's a lot of
It's
shows.
not middle America,
no,
basically.
it's not.
So-
But there's a lot of shows out now that are taking that risk. I think Nashville does well also because I feel like they're really jumping on the bandwagon of like music along with the storyline, and I think audiences are so like short attention span, they want it all at once. I think it's kind of a good idea to bring it all together. Music, acting, kind of soap opera. It's like a big conglomeration of a lot of fun things.
The soap opera, I think, is another good key because you have soaps dying off, and this Nashville and like Dallas, those are soap operas, and it's prime
And we
time
love
soap operas.
'em.
We'll
watching.
get their fix. So.
That's
We'll
right.
be watching.
All right. Well, I think that is it for us tonight. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. So where can everybody find you guys at?
I'm at Jen the Jew.
I'm at Whitney Lane 1118, and my website's whitney-lane.com.
And I am at Lauren Leonelli on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and my website.
And I'm at JJ Jurgens on Twitter and also at jjjurgens.com. All right. Thank you guys so much. See you next week.
See you next week.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.